Well, we'll start with why people buy things. Number one reason people buy things, to get sex. Y'all are going to call bullshit on me for that, but when I get through, I think you'll get it. It's a primary driving force. Once we're past, so if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, does everybody know what that is? Maslow's hierarchy of needs is basically very recognized theory that basically this is food and shelter. So security, right? So this is the most primal of needs. Food security, right? The survival preparedness business that I'm very much involved in has thrived for the last 7 or 8 years. Huge, right? We've done hundreds of millions of dollars over there based on most people's mindsets being here, right? Talk radio, TV, tons of propaganda, right? This is not new, by the way. The Carter administration went through exactly the same thing. Anytime we have a really strongly liberal White House occupant, typically speaking, conservatives freak out, right? Whole world's going to end. Better start stocking the salmon under the bed, right? Because shit's going downhill. It almost never does. Almost. Food and shelter. But once this is out of the way, all right? Reproduction. It's wired in us. And ladies in the room might say, well, it's wired into the dudes, right? But it's not necessarily wired in us. It's totally false. You guys are just as involved in this process as we are, in some cases more, but I think that some ladies confuse their lack of, men just want to procreate. They want to spread seed. That's their job in life. It's ladies' job to be the selector of that, right? Their job is to breed better than they are, better than they were, and to procreate and create a better next generation. So they have the selector devices. For whatever reason, you guys have been chosen to decide who you're going to make. This is a very interesting story. I'll stop here and tell a story because it's fun. Did you know that when they make cattle in Texas, I lived in Texas 10 years. When they made cattle in Texas, they put 100 cows in. Does anybody know much about cattle? Okay. So they put 100 cows in roughly 100 cows in a pen in an area, and they bring in usually 4 or 5 bulls on a trailer, right? The bulls come out of the trailer, and the most alpha bull charges to the center of the herd. Why? The best cow is in the center of the herd, right? Just like the prettiest girl in the bar is surrounded by all of her friends, right? Usually. Right? Same is true with the cows. She immediately submits to the alpha bull, they mate, right? The bulls stay around 3 more days. The other bulls go out on the peripheral, and they're like, hey, what's up? That's me. I'm a guy like, hey, what's going on? How you doing? You're a little ugly, but it's late. Right? You'll be prettier in a minute after 2 more of these. But no, they do. So, but the crazy part is, so the cows all leave, right? The bulls leave, and later the cows are impregnated, obviously. 60% of the cows in the pen will have been impregnated by the one bull, by the alpha. They basically stand in line, right? The others who just can't find themselves worthy of the alpha eventually mate with the others. So the vast majority get mated by the alpha. So we're pre-programmed to that. That's shit you can't get out of. It's not something you're thinking about with your conscious brain, but it's always there. Men strive to make more money, to be more fit, right? To do all those things that they do. Fortunately, I make enough money that I don't have to worry about the fit part. Right? But a lot of times guys are working toward those angles a great deal. To get sex, to be liked, to be appreciated. In my case of Christian conservative males, to be right. It's our number one motivator of our audience. To feel important. Who's ever read How to Win Friends and Influence People? go read it again. If you haven't read it, read it. If you have read it, read it again. It'll piss you off. You'll realize you're screwing up every personal relationship in your life. Right? It's a great book. But the whole book can be summed up with make people feel important. That's it. They'll do anything in the world for you. To make money, to save money, to make their work easier, to save time, to be secure, to be attractive, to be comfortable, to be distinct, to be happy, to have fun, to gain knowledge. And this is way up here. By the way, basically this next level, and I'm sure Maslow's is way more complicated than this, but the next level is basically self, the improvement of oneself, right? But I'll tell you what's crazy. If a person doesn't have security and they don't have sex, they tend not to get here. Because their minds are pre-programmed. Everything they're doing is pre-programmed to knock out these, right? And then this one is called self-actualization, whatever the hell that means. That means enlightenment, right? That's what somebody really wants to, then they start giving back at that point. That's the reason charitable contributions are only made by, I think it's 6 or 7% of America in any real amount. To gratify curiosity, for convenience, for survival. But if you look, to make money, be healthy, be distinct, to be attractive, they all go back to the same thing. So please don't sell it short. I don't mean to be gross, because I can tell all kinds of funny stories. I joke about sex and relationships and offer creation a lot. I do it to be cheeky and fun, yeah, but there's also an amazing amount of truth to it. So keep it in mind. Why do you think that guy buys the $5,000 bottle of wine in front of all of his friends, right? Because they're going to look up to him, and guess what? The chick that's with him, or maybe the chick that's with one of them, because you're in Vegas, baby, right? Right? So those are the fundamental rules. So cult theory is very interesting. Cole has built a cult of these people. He's built a community